Creating textured effects on Halloween pumpkins using carbide burrs. Hey everyone, if you're looking to take your Halloween pumpkin carving to the next level, textured effects can make all the difference. Instead of just smooth cuts, you can add depth and realism that make your designs pop. Think scaly dragons, furry monsters, or rustic wood grain patterns that feel almost lifelike when you touch them. Today, I'm diving deep into how you can use our high-quality carbide burrs to achieve these textured effects on your pumpkins. Carbide burrs are rotary tools with sharp, durable cutting heads made from tungsten carbide, perfect for detailed work on softer materials like pumpkin rind. They're commonly used in woodworking, dentistry, or crafting, but they shine, pun intended, for pumpkin artistry because they allow precise control over texture without tearing the flesh. We'll focus on using coarse carbide burrs, which have larger, more aggressive flutes, the cutting edges, that remove material quickly and create rough, tactile surfaces. These are ideal for beginners and pros alike, as they give you that gritty, uneven look without needing advanced skills. I'll break it down step by step, including preparation, techniques for specific textures, and tips for animal or nature-themed designs. Safety first. Always wear eye protection, gloves, and work in a well-ventilated area. Pumpkins can be slippery, so secure them firmly. Step 1. Preparation and tool setup. Before you start carving, get your workspace ready. Select your pumpkin. Choose a firm, unblemished pumpkin with a thick rind for better texture hold. Avoid overly ripe ones, as they might mush under the burr. Gather tools. You'll need a rotary tool, like a Dremel, compatible with carbide burrs. Our coarse carbide burrs come in various shapes: cylinder for broad areas, ball for curves, or flame for details. Start with a 1/8-inch shank burr for most rotary tools. Attach the burr securely to your tool. Clean and outline. Wash the pumpkin and pat it dry. Use a marker to sketch your design lightly on the surface. For textured effects, plan where the patterns will go, e.g., scales on a dragon's body or fur on a werewolf's face. Speed settings. Set your rotary tool to a medium speed, around 10,000–15,000 RPM, for coarse burrs. Too high, and you'll burn the pumpkin. Too low, and it won't cut efficiently. Pro tip: if you're new to this, practice on a scrap piece of pumpkin or even a potato to get a feel for how the burr interacts with the material. Step 2. Basic technique for applying texture. The key to textured effects is controlled, shallow passes with the coarse burr. Unlike smooth carving knives, the burr's flutes grind away layers, leaving behind a roughened surface that mimics natural textures. Hold an angle. Grip the rotary tool like a pencil for precision. Angle the burr at 45 to 60 degrees to the surface to avoid digging too deep. Aim for 1/8 to 1/4 inch depth max, depending on the rind thickness. Movement. Use light pressure and move in short, overlapping strokes. Let the burr do the work. Pressing too hard can cause splintering or uneven gouges. Layering. Build texture gradually. Start with broader passes to roughen the area, then refine with finer motions for detail. Dust. Management. Pumpkin debris will fly, so pause to wipe away pulp with a damp cloth. This keeps your view clear and prevents clogging the burr. Step 3. Specific textured patterns. Here's how to create popular textures using coarse carbide burrs. Each one adds a tactile element, making your pumpkin not just visual but touchable. Perfect for interactive displays or haunted houses. Scales, e.g., for dragon or reptile themes. Ideal for animal designs like a fire-breathing dragon or scaly serpent. Technique. Use a coarse ball-shaped or cylinder burr. Start by carving small overlapping semicircles or ovals across the surface. Move the burr in a stippling motion, quick up and down dabs, to create raised edges around each scale, giving a bumpy reptilian feel. Detail. For realism, vary the scale sizes, larger on the body, smaller near edges. Lightly grind between scales to add shadow depth. This texture feels rough and segmented when touched, enhancing the alive look. Pro tip: combine with painted accents. The burr's grooves hold paint better for a weathered effect. Fur, e.g., for werewolf or animal fur themes. Great for furry creatures like wolves, cats, or Bigfoot-inspired monsters. Technique. Opt for a coarse flame or tapered burr for directional strokes. Drag the burr in short, parallel lines, like hatching and drawing, to simulate hair strands. Vary direction slightly for a natural matted fur look. Upward for fluff, downward for sleekness. Detail. Overlap strokes lightly to build density. For thicker fur, make deeper passes in clusters. For wispy ends, use the burr's tip for fine scratches. The coarse grit leaves fibrous ridges that mimic hair texture, making it tactile and spooky under lights. Pro tip: if your design includes a face, texture the fur around it to frame features, adding dimension without overwhelming the carve. Wood grain, e.g., for tree or nature-themed designs. Perfect for enchanted forests, haunted trees, or bark-like monsters. Technique: use a coarse cylinder burr for straight lines. Draw long, wavy strokes along the pumpkin's curve to imitate grain patterns. Alternate pressure, light for fine veins, heavier for knots or cracks. Detail: add knots by circling the burr in small spirals, creating raised, bumpy nodes. For aged wood, crosshatch in perpendicular directions to roughen further. This gives a splintery, organic feel that's ideal for nature vibes. Pro tip: incorporate this as a background texture behind main carvings, like wrapping a pumpkin log around a spooky scene. For all textures, remember, coarse burrs excel at quick material removal, so err on the side of caution to avoid piercing through the rind. If you go too deep, patch with toothpicks or extra pulp. Step 4. Finishing and enhancing your design. Refine edges. Switch to a finer burr, if available, for smoothing transitions between textured and smooth areas. Lighting and display. Textures shine with internal lighting. Place a LED candle inside to cast shadows that emphasize the depth. Preservation. Coat the carved areas with petroleum jelly or lemon juice to slow rotting, keeping your textured masterpiece fresh longer. Themed ideas. For animals, combine scales and fur on a chimeric beast. For nature, wood grain a pumpkin into a twisted tree with leaf cutouts. The tactile realism makes these designs stand out at parties or contests. Using our Carbide burrs for these effects is a game changer. They're durable, precise, and way more efficient than traditional tools. Experiment and have fun. The possibilities are endless. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more crafting tips, tool reviews, and seasonal DIY ideas. And drop a comment below. What textured design are you trying this Halloween? We'd love to hear your ideas or see your creations.